I caught my sister stealing from our late mom's account. So I made sure the whole family found out at her wedding. The morning my mom died, my sister cried harder than anyone in that hospital room. I held her hand through all of it. I believed every single tear. I was wrong. My mom raised us alone. Our dad left when I was 9 and my sister Carla was 6. And from that point forward, it was the three of us against the world. We weren't rich. Mom worked as a school cafeteria manager for 23 years, but we always had what we needed. She clipped coupons, bought clothes at the end of season sales, and never once complained. What she did have, quietly and without ever bragging about it, was discipline. She put away a little every month for decades. By the time she was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer at 61, she had built up just over $180,000 in savings. Not a fortune, but for a woman who spent her entire adult life putting others first, it was everything. She told us about the account 2 months before she passed. She called us both into her bedroom, where she had set up a little folding table next to her bed like she was holding a meeting. She slid a folder across to each of us. Inside was a handwritten note explaining that she had set the account up as a joint account. Both Carla and I were listed so that whoever survived her could access it immediately without going through probate. "I trust both of you," she said. "I want this split down the middle. That is $90,000 each. You use it to build something." She looked us both in the eye when she said it. Carla nodded. I nodded. We both cried. Mom squeezed our hands. She died 11 weeks later on a Tuesday morning in March, just after sunrise. The nurses said she went peacefully. I choose to believe that. I gave myself 2 weeks before I even thought about the money. I was not ready. I was sleeping 4 hours a night, eating whatever people dropped off at my apartment, and going through her voicemails just to hear her voice. Grief is strange. It does not ask for your schedule. When I finally felt like I could function, I called the bank to ask about transferring my half. The representative was kind and patient. She pulled up the account. Then she paused. "I am showing a recent transfer on this account," she said carefully. "A large one. It looks like a full withdrawal was made about 9 days ago." I asked her to repeat that. The entire balance was transferred out of the account. That it was authorized by one of the joint account holders. I sat down on my kitchen floor. Not on a chair, the floor. I already knew. I think some part of me knew the second she said full withdrawal. I did not call Carla right away. I needed to be sure, and I needed to be calm, because if I called her at that moment, I would have said things I could not take back. I drove to the bank in person the next morning. I brought my ID, my copy of the joint account paperwork, and the folder Mom had given me. The manager sat with me for almost an hour. What she showed me confirmed everything. 9 days after our mother died, Carla had transferred $178,400 into a personal account. Her own account, one I was not on. She had not left a dollar, not even a symbolic amount. She had taken everything. And I sat in that bank chair and I thought about my mom's handwritten note. "I trust both of you." I made it to my car before I started crying. Here is what you need to know about Carla. She had always been the family favorite in the eyes of extended relatives, the one who called aunts on their birthdays and who showed up to every family gathering with a dish and a smile. She was charming. She was warm. She was getting married in 4 months to a guy named Derek, who came from money and who Carla had been trying to impress since the day they met. I thought about Derek. I thought about how Carla had mentioned, maybe 6 months before Mom got sick, that they were looking at a house, a big one in a neighborhood neither of us grew up anywhere near. I thought about what $178,400 could do for a down payment. I wanted to scream. Instead, I made a plan. And I called her 3 days later and kept my voice completely neutral. "Hey," I said, "I was going to call the bank about transferring my half. Did you get yours okay?" Not even a breath of hesitation. "Yeah," she said. "It was a little complicated, but I got it sorted. You should call and they will walk you through your part. My part. She said your part, like half of it was still sitting there waiting for me. Great, I said. I will call them this week. I hung up and stared at the ceiling for a long time. She was going to let me call that bank and find out on my own. She had no plan to tell me. She was just going to let me discover it, and then what? Apologize? Claim a mistake? I genuinely do not know what she thought was going to happen, and that scared me more than anything. I did not confront her. I did not threaten her. I consulted with a lawyer first, who told me that what Carla had done, while morally reprehensible, existed in a complicated legal gray area because of how the joint account was structured. It would be a civil dispute. It could take years. It might cost me more to fight than I would recover. But the lawyer also told me something else. I had a very clear paper trail. Bank statements, the original account documentation, Mom's handwritten note, and the transfer records. Everything was documented. I decided that if the legal system could not guarantee me justice quickly, I would handle it the only other way I knew how. I would let the truth speak for itself. Carla's wedding was in late July. I was her maid of honor. She had asked me 2 years before Mom got sick, and despite everything, I said nothing. I kept my role. And I showed up to the bridal shower, helped address the invitations, and gave a toast at the rehearsal dinner that made 3 people cry. I smiled through all of it. At the wedding reception, there was a slideshow. Carla had asked me to help put it together. Photos of her and Derek through the years, family pictures, and childhood memories. I had full access to the shared folder she had set up. I added one slide. It was near the end, right between a beach photo from their first vacation together and a candid from Christmas 2 years ago. Simple white background, clean font. It read, Carla transferred our late mother's entire life savings, $178,400, into her own account 9 days after Mom died. I never received my share. Mom's note asked us to split it equally. I have the documentation. I forgive you, Carla. But everyone here deserves to know who you are. I will not pretend I feel entirely good about what I did. What I will tell you is what happened when that slide appeared on the screen. The room did not go loud, it went quiet. That specific kind of quiet that only happens when everyone sees something at the same time and no one knows what to do with it. A few people audibly gasped. I heard Derek's mother say very clearly, "What is that?" I was sitting at the head table. I watched Carla's face go from confused to horrified in about 2 seconds. She stood up so fast her chair scraped the floor. She was looking at me. What did you do? It was not a question. I told the truth, I said. Derek was reading the slide. He read it twice. I watched him do it. Then he turned to Carla and said very quietly, "Is that real?" Yet she did not answer him fast enough. His mother was already walking toward the AV table. An uncle I barely knew was pulling out his phone. My Aunt Renee, my mom's oldest sister, started crying in the middle of the room. She had loved my mom more than almost anyone. Carla grabbed my arm and pulled me toward the hallway. She was shaking. "You just ruined my wedding," she said. "You ruined everything." "You stole Mom's money," I said. 11 days after she died, and then you lied to my face. I was going to pay you back. Do not." I pulled my arm away. "Do not do that." She was crying now. Real tears, maybe. I honestly could not tell anymore. "I needed it," she said. "The house, the wedding. Derek's family already thinks I am not. I needed them to think I had money." "So you took mine," I said. "And Mom's." "Yeah, you took everything she worked 23 years for and you spent it on a house to impress people, and you let me call the bank. You were going to let me find out by myself." She did not have an answer for that. I left her in the hallway. I went back inside, hugged my Aunt Renee, and left the reception. That was 7 months ago. Carla and Derek are still married, though from what I hear it has been difficult. His family asked a lot of questions that night. She did eventually transfer $90,000 back to me. Her lawyer apparently told her it was the right move, which arrived in 3 installments over 4 months. I did not say thank you. I did not say anything. We have not spoken since the wedding. Some of my relatives think I went too far. A couple of cousins unfollowed me on everything. One aunt sent me a message that said, "Family is family," and I should have handled it privately. Maybe. I have thought about that a lot. But I keep coming back to my mom's folder and that handwritten note. I trust both of you. She trusted both of us, and only one of us deserved it. And the woman who worked 30 years in a school cafeteria and saved every dollar she could, she deserved to have her last wish honored. I used my $90,000 to pay off my student loans and put the rest in a high-yield savings account. I named the account after her.